Welcome back to another beautiful, fun, exciting episode of hashtag Her Chosen Story. I am your host, Clavia Allen, and this is a 3-day special. It's going to be back to back, and I decided to highlight some new authors, some returning, but still new to the game. And I'm excited for this conversation with author and life coach Dawn Thurland, the owner and founder of Della Dawn Life Coaching. You have seen her on the screen. We shared space on her platform, Empower Journeys with Dawn Thurland, and she's back. She is back with some exciting news. And guess what? She remembered her name, y'all. She remembered her name. So without any further ado, I'm going to bring my friend up to the stage, my sister up to the stage, Mrs. Dawn Thurland.
Hey, girl.
How are you? I miss you.
I miss you too.
So how have you been?
I've been good. God is good. He's
Awesome.
He's working. I tell you that.
That's right. And I know we started off in the backstage. We were talking about a few things. So we're going to jump right in, no further delays. And I introduced you with She Remembered Her Name. And that is the book that you recently published. So you are a second-time author, which is such a beautiful thing. And I know that these are just answered prayers that you're now walking in. And I know God is smiling. The angels are rejoicing, right? Because Dawn remembered what I'm about to say, I said it on an episode on Affirmation, where becoming her, she's already in us, but because we don't recognize her, heaven does, right? So heaven recognizes the her that we're becoming, and every day we are becoming her. So I'm just so happy to have you here, on hashtag Her Story, where once again you are sharing your story. So yeah, let's jump right let's start with the cover. And you've been posting, and maybe some didn't even realize it's a second book, not a first book. So let's talk about the cover and what it was for you to even receive this book. Because I think what you have in hand is the proof copy, which again, you become a client of mine, you would understand that language. So Dawn is holding her proof copy. So introduce yourself again, reintroduce yourself, and just tell me about the feeling of, yes, you have book one that was launched June 2025, but here it is. When was it? October?
Yes.
October, that the second book was successfully published, and we did that, right?
Yes.
We did God's grace. We did it. And talk about it.
Well, first of all, let me say thank you. Thank you for having me here. I'm honored to be here with you, speaking with you as always. You are an amazing woman, and I'm blessed to be doing life side by side, arm in arm with you. I lovingly call you midwife, midwife of purpose. And since God has placed you in my life, so many things have changed. So I just want to say thank you for that. So I will talk to you about my cover.
Yes,
so first, let me say this. When I received this proof copy, even though this is my second book, this one particularly hit different. And it hit different for so many reasons. To discuss the cover is a drawing that my granddaughter did. She did this book, not the book, she did the actual cover and painting.
Soon I'm going to just a bit so the audience can see. And we'll post it also.
Yeah. What I'm going to do soon is actually be able to show her original drawing. She was like 12 or 13 years old when she gave it to me. And my grandbabies call me Yaya. She said, "Hey, Yaya, you can have this." And when I saw that, it touched me. And I have placed it in plastic and kept it, for the next home that I'll, be purchasing. I wanted to put it up there. But then when Clavia and I have started talking about this next book and how I'm starting to remember who I was already created to be and what God has always called me, but I forgot about her because, just like you said just a minute ago, when life happens, okay, so when God creates us, right, he creates us complete. We're already complete. He's
Mm-hmm.
not continuing to create us day after
Right.
day. We're continuing to hopefully evolve
Mm-hmm.
and to get to the point where we're remembering who we
Mm-hmm.
are
Mm-hmm.
and who we are in him. So that's what the different things that has been coming up with me is that's what's been happening. So I'm like, you know what? And in our conversations, you're like, girl, you need to write about this. And even
Yeah.
with my children,
Right.
because now we're doing a lot of conversating now. They're asking me a lot of questions. And I'm starting to share a lot of my personal stories and how I've, navigated through life prior to them and with them. And they both were like, Ma, you really need to tell more of your story, because it's powerful and it can help a lot of people because people can feel like they're not by themselves.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, the cover is amazing because I also, when I told my granddaughter that I was going to use
Use
her
her art.
painting, right,
Mm-hmm.
use it for her, use her art for the cover, I wanted to ask her permission first. I didn't know her story behind the painting. I knew that it
Right.
was deep. And when she told me her story behind the painting, it reflects a lot of what I went through throughout my life that the book is about. And
Yeah.
I knew at that moment, I was like, you know what? This is why God said, use that painting as the cover. So this
Yeah.
cover is very, very deep. She did give her blessing on letting me use, because then when she told me, because it's such a personal thing and it's such a hard time for her, I said, but we talked about it. And I told her, I said, you know what? The reflection in this is you coming out of this. And
Yeah.
look at the beauty that you created in the middle of
Exactly.
what you went through. And I'm so
Yeah.
proud. 12, 13 years old. Hello. you
Right.
know, so
Yeah.
yeah, so when I got this book, I just broke down in tears because it has a lot of layers, and I know that was a long way around,
No,
but
you're
you know how I
good.
am. You know how I am. I like to talk.
That's okay. So I have, and this is a short segment. Again, just really wanted to highlight you and congratulate you. And that's what we do here at hashtag Her Chosen Story. Really working with women, and again, just sharing your story. Those untold stories that some of us, a lot of us, most of us shy away from because why? We don't want to be judged, or we're
Right.
just nervous. Like I was telling you, I have a client and her story is very different, but she's so nervous. But that's I would say my job or my calling to just hold y'all hand and allow God to use you and give you the words to speak, because people don't want perfection. They want authenticity. They want transparency. They want the real thing,
Yes.
and I know that's what you bring to the table. So my question to you, what part of She Remembered Her Name still moves you the most when you think about your journey, and why was it important for you to share with other women and readers? Because we're not going to give away everything, but the foreword was written by a male.
Mhm.
And I know you were very surprised by that. But so we know that we cater to our woman targeted audience. But for those that are reading this, what really stood out to you within this project?
Well, I have to say, um, there's many parts in it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And while writing the book, I chose specific stories and specific situations that happened in my life, because obviously I couldn't put all in one book, right?
Mm-hmm.
But the one in particular that really, really stands out and is interesting, it's funny that you mentioned that gentleman because it's the same story, the one about my dad.
Right.
Um, that one, well, each one, I sat down and I actually went back to the feeling of what I was feeling in those moments, and it hit hard. And I learned more about him while writing the chapter about him.
Mm-hmm.
And it gave me a deeper understanding for him. Um, and it stands out because a lot of us women, we didn't have our dads for whatever reason it was.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't know our dad's story for whatever reason because of whatever the reason is, right? So I shared what I found out and knew about my dad and what I experienced with my dad so that other
So
women, I'm sorry.
I'm going to ask you really quick. So, even while writing this, were you asking questions, researching to really get the truth of that chapter or section?
Honestly, with him, it came deep. I didn't really have to ask any more questions about him because throughout
Mm,
throughout the years, my mother has shared more things about him, and
right.
that's how I learned his story later, because one of the things, and this is what's one of the things that I mentioned in the book, is that my mother always told me, if you want to know about a person and why their behavior is the way they are, you learn their story. If you care, learn their
Right.
story so you'll understand them deeper, right?
Mm-hmm,
So
mm-hmm.
later, much later in life, is when I learned more about his story, and I gained so much compassion for him. But
Right.
while writing the particular chapter on him, and going back to that moment and sharing a very, and I'm not going to give this away, but sharing a very moment that he and I shared.
Yes.
When I went back there and I looked deeper, the Holy Spirit allowed me to understand him even deeper, and
Yeah.
gave me more of an understanding who I am and why this man was chosen to be my dad.
Mm-hmm,
So
mm-hmm.
it gave me a
Wow.
deeper understanding of who he was, or
Yeah.
who he was,
Yeah.
and what he held, and why he experienced me in that moment. And I want to
Mm-hmm.
share it so bad, but I'm it's a
Don't give
moment.
it away.
I won't give it away, but
I'm
it's
gonna
it's
put the link up. So if y'all
yeah,
are itching to hear, this is
yeah.
where you can find a copy of a signed copy of Dawn's book, her second book. She remembered her name, and also, of course, available on Amazon. Many women lose themselves to
Yeah.
trauma, expectations, or survival. Right?
Mm-hmm.
What was the turning point that made you say, "No more. I'm remembering who I am," and how can readers begin that same journey?
When I decided to make that decision of saying no more, is when one of the things that I teach clients is to do reflection. You should be doing reflection almost daily,
Mm-hmm.
and not staying stuck in those places. But I
Right.
started to notice, and what helped me with my reflection is I noticed that there was certain patterns that has been going on in my life that have been negative patterns. And when I recognized that it was a pattern, I'm like, okay, it's time for me to get off this train. What is going on?
Yeah.
Because I know that there's something deeper in me, because I'm giving it all out on a daily basis to other people. Why am I not doing that for myself? So it was time. So it was time for me to get off of that train that
Yeah.
kept going in circles, right? Or just going from one stop, the end of the road, and then coming back to in the
Mhm,
same
mhm.
negative thing. I said, it's
Yeah,
time to go. I need to find out who I am, because once you find out who you are, and once you get that understanding and that deep revelation again, then and you gain the insight of who you were created to be. And then you start
mhm.
walking with your chest out, like, okay, no, listen, I am who he says I am. And I
Mhm,
need to start
mhm.
walking that way and showing up that way, for not only for myself, but for people around me. But I, number one, need to show up like that for myself, so I can stop allowing certain things to keep happening, if that
Yeah,
makes any sense. But that's why I did it.
definitely.
And
Yeah.
what I have offered in the book is I have certain sections in here where people can do their own reflection and
Mhm.
writing their own moments, or
Yeah.
because obviously my story is my story.
Right.
And but I want the reader to be able to see and get the understanding that they're not alone, that
Mhm.
just because your story is not identical to mine, you have a story in there, and
Yeah.
understand that you don't have to stay there. That may be the place of where a hurt happened or the trauma
Mhm.
happened, but you don't have to stay there. You can ask God to help you heal from there. And
For
I've
sure.
given tools, I've given, his truth about you, his truth about the situation, so that you can
Yeah.
reflect on that and start the journey from there, and writing and journaling and all of the things. So that's what I put in the book,
Beautiful.
you
I
know.
love that. I love that. All right. And I have one more question. If a woman, I always get that term wrong. But for whoever's watching this, I'll broaden it. Whoever's watching this segment and feel broken, forgotten, or unsure of their identity, what message from your book
Mhm.
would you want them, because I put her, but want
Mhm.
them to hold on to today? Like, what message, and she remembered her name, would you want your readers or those listening that are contemplating purchasing? Maybe in one of my other clients, what she does, she have people pay it forward. So I might not want to read She Remembered Her Name, but
Mhm.
you know someone who's broken, you know someone who is hurting and just they're stuck, right? So what would you say to that person, and what message in your book would you bring to life for them?
Interesting that you should ask that, because I opened up a page in here that I want to read this page because it's actually from where I put in here about God's truth.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the scriptures I have here is Psalms 34:18. The Lord is close to the brokenhearted. He rescues those whose spirits are crushed. And then Hebrews 13:5 says, for God has said, I will never fail you. I will never abandon you. And then Jeremiah 1:5, I knew you.
Even
I
before.
knew you
Yes.
before I formed you in your mother's womb. Before you were born, I set you apart.
Mm-hmm.
What I want to tell folks
Mm-hmm.
is that, and I'll read it from here. God doesn't want, and he doesn't wait for perfection. He comes to us in the middle of our confusion, our mess,
Yep.
and our longings. And when he comes, he stays.
Yes.
So what I want to leave to everyone is that when you have invited him into your life, just because there's some moments, and there was some moments, a lot of moments that I forgot about him, he never forgot about me.
Mm-hmm.
When I do my reflection and I look back on my life, even look back on 10 minutes ago,
Right.
I can see that his hand was on me. You
Mm-hmm.
know, the things that I went through, no, he didn't create them, but guess what? He turned them around for my good,
Yeah.
according to his
Indeed.
purpose. And the
Yeah.
things that I went through has actually watered the seed of who he knew me and created me to be. And now
Mm-hmm.
I'm walking in my gift of being a life coach. And a
Amen.
lot of the things that I went through has created me to, not created me because he created me, but it has watered that seed.
Yeah.
So
And
just
allowing
remember,
you to just walk in
yeah,
those.
allow me
Yeah.
to evolve. Yeah,
Yeah.
so just remember that he created you. He knew you before he put you in your mama's womb. He
Mm-hmm.
knows who you are, and he's there for the brokenhearted, and he'll never leave you. He'll never forsake you. You're not too broken for him. You're
Mm-hmm.
not a surprise to him. Things you're going through, he's got you, and he'll
Yeah.
never leave you. And that's real.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm so encouraged, as always, per usual. Um, this was really good. It was short and sweet. And yeah, this is the beginning of, again, just something so beautiful, so encouraging. And again, I know that God is ordering my steps, and me allowing him to do so. He's bringing people with stories, untold stories that many have thought about it, but here you are, as you call me, spiritual midwife. You
Yeah.
birthed this story, and it's really going to encourage so many. So many. I can see you having workshops. I mean, we already started workshops locally in our county. And again, I just know that this is just the beginning of something greater than you can ever imagine. Eyes haven't seen and ears haven't heard the kind of blessings that's coming your way. So buckle up, Dawn, and thank you for saying yes.
Yeah.
Thank you for just allowing you to become her, and like heaven is rejoicing because they're like, she's recognizing who we already knew she was, and like you said, God already knew. He made you whole, he made you complete, but now it's for us to walk in it. So
Yes.
I appreciate
Thank
you so
you.
much.
Thank you.
I know you just kind of said your last words, but any last words before we end tonight?
Well, I'd like to give yourself grace. Give yourself, because I can say so much, but what I will say is, for everybody that's listening, everybody, and I'm speaking to myself as well. Remember to give yourself grace, have patience with yourself, and do the same for others, because you never know what a person is walking through. You never know what they walked through. So give yourself patience, give yourself grace, and give others the same. I love you guys, and I'm excited about what God is about to do for you as well as me. So you guys have a blessed evening. And thank you, Clavia. Love you. I
You're very
appreciate
welcome.
you.
I was having issues come back on the stage
I
and
see
my
that.
light is blinking. So
I,
we will end it here. Dawn, thank you so much.
thank
And
you.
I appreciate you.
I appreciate you too, honey.
Bye. All right. Yeah, I don't know what's happening with my light. So this was just a great conversation. I just really wanted to honor Dawn with this project. she remembered her name. And I mean, she's been posting and doing the marketing thing. I don't think she realized that she is actually doing advertising and marketing. So kudos to her. With the post that she actually shared a few weeks ago, she's gotten so much love, so much feedback. And because of that, people started reaching out to me. So 2026, I am ready for you. And God is just, again, making ways where there seemed to be no way. He's really opening those doors. So thank you, Dawn. And thank you for those who have listened to this segment, episode, if you will. Please purchase Dawn's book. I'm going to put the website up one more time. DellaDawnLifeCoaching.BigCartel. And again, pretty soon in 2026, I would be saying DellaDawnLifeCoaching.com forward, or it might be DawnThurland.com. We're still working with that. But this is where you can get a signed copy of her book. It would soon be available in local stores. Trust me on that. And also the easy way for quick delivery, you have the option to order on Amazon. All right. So my name again is Clavia Allen. I am your host of hashtag Her Chosen Story. Please always remember you are chosen for such a time as this, such a time as now, such a time as this. If you would like to be a future guest on the show or to contribute to future episodes, I think I posted something. Maybe I have it in my data that I just didn't hit send, but in order for this show to become bigger and better, contributions would be appreciated. It will be welcome because your girl can't do it alone. Yeah. And if you want to just see things work out even better for hashtag Restore, I mean, look, I'm even ready. I have my cards for my chair and my sofa. So we got to make some things happen. So on a serious note, if you would really like to contribute, I do have a donate button on my website, which is ClaviaAllen.com. You can hit that button and you can give a donation of any amount. Every dollar counts. So I appreciate you. And if you ever forgot your name, remember your name. Remember who created you. Remember who you are and whose you are. And if you have questions, of course, you can reach out to me. But because we highlighted Miss Dawn today, please feel free to connect with her at DellaDawnLifeCoaching@gmail.com. And you could also check her out on her YouTube channel, Empower Journey with Dawn. Thank you for watching and God bless.